Okay, assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Clifton Raheem Bradley. And the name of this show is The Misconception of Islam. And I hope that you would tell a friend to tune in and to share this video. But we're going to talk about Islam because it is our jobs to get dawah and to give information. No, not our jobs. That is our duty to give information and dawah to the people. But we're going to talk about some of the good things in Islam and some of the hypocrites in Islam. But I'm going to introduce my brother here of the Flaming Crescent Society, Brother Salim. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother.
Alhamdulillah. And please tell our people something about yourself.
Well, the first thing that I would like to say, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you for another chance to appear on your show and to share hopefully some positive, beneficial information to the public, both non-Muslim as well as Muslim. And hopefully, this can be an enlightening presentation today.
Okay. And the Flaming Crescent Society, and can you tell us something about the Flaming Crescent Society?
Well, first of all, once again, for those that don't know me, my name is Brother Salim Abdul Khalik, and I am a author. I've also given lectures. I happen to be the author of at least 9 publications, some on Black history, others on Islam and different other topics. And some years ago, I founded a Islamic dawah or propagation organization called the Flaming Crescent Society, which was founded in honor of Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, known to most of us by the name of Malcolm X. And the purpose of it was to uplift his memory and keep alive his spiritual, political legacy, and also correct the many misunderstandings that the American public has about the Islamic faith.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, that's great. That's tremendous. Malcolm, he was a beautiful brother.
Yes, he was.
Why he was in the Nation of Islam and when he left the Nation of Islam, he was a beautiful brother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's a misconception of Islam. Let me ask you something. First of all, what is a Muslim? What is a Muslim? For this maybe somebody may say, they're Muslim. What is a Muslim's duty to Allah and to the world? But first of all, to Allah, what is his duty?
Well, this is an extremely important question, a question that must be delved into and understood properly. The word Muslim, spelled properly M-U-S-L-I-M, is an Arabic word which means one who, or a person who submits peacefully to the divine will of the one God who created the heavens and the earth. The word Muslim does not mean terrorist. Again, it means a peaceful person. And as Brother Malcolm X used to define it, he said it means one who obeys God. That, in simple language, that's all it means, one who obeys God. So a Muslim is one who believes in Islam, which means peaceful submission to the will of God, or Allah, as we choose to say in the Arabic language. A Muslim believes in practicing the 5 pillars of Islam, which helps to establish a divine connection with our Creator.
Okay, and that is a Muslim. Does a Muslim worship many gods? Because, for example, some people would say that we worship a moon god, and then in Christianity,
I've heard that.
All due respect, they say that Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, was God's son, and Buddha.
Right.
So they worship. Do they believe in the one God, or do they have 2 or 1 or several gods like these other denominations? And I say that respectfully to the non-Islamic individual that is looking at this.
Good question. Let me clear up something here first and foremost. When the Muslim uses the word Allah, that is A-L-L-A-H, we are simply referring to the one supreme God who created the heavens and the earth. Scientists tell us that the earth had a beginning something like 14.5 billion years ago. Well, a Muslim is one who believes that the power and the intelligence and the supreme might that brought about the beginning of the universe, or as they call it, the Big Bang, was one supreme being.
Okay.
And again, we call him Allah. And when we say Allah, this is no different from a name that has been used for over 1,000 some odd years in the Middle East, you know, when amongst the Jews and the Christians who worship God over there, in the Aramaic and the Arabic language, and even coming close in the Hebrew language, the words respectively is Allah, Allah, and Elohim. See, this is all of these different languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Semitic, have what we call a Semitic cognate. You know, they have their sister languages. So the way that you say a God in those languages is very similar.
Okay.
In fact, the name Allah is actually older, much older than the English name that we use in reference to the Creator, which is God, G-O-D. This didn't come about until the Germans, in the German language, brought about that designation for the Creator. So actually, the name Allah is ancient. It goes much further back in reference to the Creator, even before Prophet Muhammad, because when the name of Prophet Muhammad, for example, was Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Now we look at the name Abdullah. The name Abdullah means, in translated, it means servant of Allah.
Okay.
So if Muhammad ibn Abdullah means Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, and Abdullah, his father, had the name Abdullah, which means servant of Allah, then that means that even long before the father of Prophet Muhammad, the name Allah was in existence. So again, the name Allah is in reference to the one true God. The Muslims only believe in monotheism. Monotheism is the supreme belief in the oneness of God. We don't believe that God is two. We don't believe that God is three. We don't believe that God is 1,000 different deities, or we don't believe that the Creator is an idol. We don't believe that God is a statue. We don't believe that God is the sun, moon, or stars. And some people, let me just add this real quickly. Some people think that when the Muslims go to Mecca and they go or circulate or circumambulate the building, that black building called the Kaaba, some people mistakenly think that we worship that building. Well, that building is simply an empty house of worship. If you actually would go inside it, there's nothing in it. So we don't worship any building, any statue, no tree, anything in the creation other than the one unseen God, as the Quran refers to him in the second chapter of the Holy Quran.
Okay. And you say a Muslim, what is the criterion to be a good Muslim? Then I'm going to ask you what a hypocrite is, but I'm going to first ask you, what is the criterion to be a good practicing Muslim?
Well, you know, the number one criterion to be a Muslim is first to be sincere, and secondly to seek true understanding and knowledge about Islam. One of the things that makes Islam different from the other major religions, Christianity in particular, is that you know, most Christians will tell you, you know, just come on, believe. But the Prophet Muhammad said that before anyone would become or accept Islam, he said that they should thoroughly understand what it is that they believe in. And also the Holy Quran itself, it said this is a faith or a religion for those who think, who use logic, who use their intelligence, you know, which is some faculties that the Almighty Creator has given us. So again, a couple of things that we need. We definitely need sincerity. And we also need to be seekers of truth. We need to be those that sincerely seek an understanding of what Islam is about. Now, once you achieve that level, then you want to begin to actually put into practice the 5 pillars of Islam, and you only do that after you have taken the declaration of faith, which in Arabic we call the Shahada.
Yes.
This is the actual brief ceremony that you take, before a few Muslim witnesses, where you come and declare, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abdur Rasulullah, which means, translated into English, that I bear witness openly and testify that there's not but one God, and that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, to whom the Holy Quran was revealed 1400 years ago, is the last servant, seal of the prophets and the messengers. You see, so once you have made that declaration of faith before a few Muslim witnesses, then you have officially accepted Islam, and then you become obligated in order to put the 5 pillars of Islam into practice.
But let me ask you, there are groups that believe that they are the prophets that come after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have they fallen out of Islam? Or do you consider them to be Islamic? But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that we would be divided amongst many sects, and we would be jealous and envious each other. Have you fallen out of Islam if you have elevated? I believe that there's a prophet that comes after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Well, my answer to that, as a follower of Prophet Muhammad and one who has thoroughly read the Quran numerous times, I can testify myself that the Quran itself says that the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who came 1400 years ago in ancient Mecca, is the last prophet of Almighty Allah. He was given a divine scripture called the Holy Quran, which testifies, that in whoever would like to be a true believer must follow his example.
Yes.
That is not to say that there aren't individuals, who have risen up from time to time in order to, give humanity, enlightenment. We've had people like Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, to come wake up the consciousness of black people in particular. But those men were not given a divine revelation. They were not given a book, of scripture.
Yes.
Which encapsulate the divine teachings of Allah in a nutshell.
Okay.
You see, both Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad believed in the Quran, and the Quran was given to Prophet Muhammad, not one of them. You see, and for example, Elijah Muhammad said that he studied 104 books on the history of Prophet Muhammad, so he cannot claim, to be the last prophet or last messenger up over Prophet Muhammad. He studied the book that Prophet Muhammad was given, and claimed to be a Muslim. You see, so the criterion is following Prophet Muhammad and the rules, laws, and regulations that he laid down as based on the divine revelation that he got from Almighty God.
So if you elevate something else to a God-like status and say that there is a prophet to come after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have fallen out of Islam.
You have deviated away from the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. He specifically said, I believe in the farewell sermon, if I'm not mistaken, and I know this is in numerous biographies on the Prophet Muhammad, which I've read. He specifically stated that after him would be no other prophets. Now, you have certain sectarian cults. For example, you had the Moorish Science Temple. You have the Ahmadiyya Muslims who claim that Ghulam Ahmed is a prophet that came after Prophet Muhammad. The Moorish Science Temples, they refer to Noble Drew Ali as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and they will tell you that he wrote a book called the Quran, but the book that he wrote is not the genuine Quran that was given to Prophet Muhammad. So again, I'm not disrespecting the good works that these individuals have done, But if they're claiming that they're on the same elevated spiritual divine status as Prophet Muhammad was, they are in error. And I personally reject it.
Yes, yes. And my question is that we know that there are hypocrites within the Islamic faith. Can you first of all explain to the people what is a hypocrite? Well, there may be somebody that don't know.
Well, I'm not a what you would call an expert on the Arabic language or anything of that nature, but from what I understand, the word hypocrite in Arabic is munafiqun, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's spelled M-U-N-A-F-I-Q-U-N, if I'm not mistaken. Munafiqun is the how you pronounce it, I think. And this would be a designated label of anyone, you know, who would claim to be a Muslim, but when you study their actions, it's total opposite of what being a Muslim is all about. For example, during the time of the history of the Prophet Muhammad, you would have and this is spoken of in the Quran, you had people that would join the ranks of the Muslims in order to cause confusion, chaos, trouble, etc., etc. And then at the end of the day, they would say, we were not really with you. We didn't really believe in Islam, and they would go to make mock. That is a description of a hypocrite. Another description of a hypocrite, from my understanding, you know, and looking at current events in the world, you know, when you hear about some Muslims boarding planes, and before they boarded planes, you know, they were seen at nightclubs getting lap dances and, you know, drinking alcohol in nightclubs and things of that nature before boarding airplanes to run into and blow up buildings. This is the description of a hypocrite. Number one, because based on the teaching of the Holy Quran and Prophet Muhammad, a Muslim does not go near alcohol or wine. A Muslim does not indulge in prostitution. A Muslim does not lie. A Muslim does not steal. A Muslim does not engage in terrorism and the harming of innocent people. A Muslim does not engage in perverted sexual activities, etc., etc. Anything that you would find that the Quran speaks against, this is what a hypocrite Muslim would actually put into practice.
Okay. Now, why is it that you have, I'm not going to say a certain group, you have Muslims that come from other geographical areas, like Indonesia or Saudi Arabia, but they come within certain communities and own stores, and they sell alcohol, they sell lottery tickets, and they know within their society which they came from, right, this would be tolerated. Are they hypocrites? And what do you think? Why would they do this?
One of the reasons why they would do this is because they are the hypocrites that the Quran described. You know, I'm very much familiar with the scenario that you've painted, because, you know, I myself, you know, have led community protests against, you know, Arab liquor stores, you know, they have come in our community, you know, posing like they are Muslims, and you know, as you say, you know, they sell lottery tickets, they sell pork and wine, and they exhibit racism. They exploit the young girls, you know, that come in their stores, etc., etc. They do everything the opposite of what Prophet Muhammad described that a true, authentic, genuine Muslim should be about. Again, a Muslim is one who believes in peace. Not only do we believe in peace, we believe in living a righteous life. We believe in respecting women. We believe in respecting the elders, you know, teaching the children and the youth, right? And most importantly, being pristine examples of what a true Muslim is about. When I look at somebody like Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, brother Malcolm X, you understand, this was a brother who totally exemplified what being a true Muslim was all about. After this brother got out the penitentiary, and turn away from a life of crime. He didn't go back to doing what he was doing, the ignorant, foolish thing that he had been doing previously. So he demonstrated what a sincere belief in the Holy Quran was all about.
Okay. And then the other thing, there's some Muslim brothers, I have seen pictures on social media like Facebook, Google, Yahoo, where they brutalize Muslims or women, and they use the justification of the Sharia, because I know there's something in the Sharia that says that you can chastise, you can chastise your Muslim, and I don't believe that. What do you say about some? I saw a picture of a sister with her eye blackened because the brother justified it.
Well, my answer to that would be this: a Prophet Muhammad came to uplift the woman. Okay, Prophet Muhammad came to destroy all kinds of racism, sexism, classism, anything that destroys the unity and the peacefulness of humanity. There are no doubt that there have been some Muslim men in the history of Islam that have abused their women. I would say this much, that when we go to domestic violence court here in the United States, you very rarely see any Muslim, hardly any Muslims up in domestic violence court in comparison with the non-Muslims and the Christians. But it does happen, because there are some Muslim brothers who have not really internalized the true message of Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran. And the Prophet Muhammad said, the best Muslims are those who are best to their wives. I would ask this question right here. What woman did Prophet Muhammad brutalize? No. What woman did Prophet Muhammad beat up? There's no record of him ever beating or abusing a woman. Now, some Muslims like to say, they have the right to do that based on the Holy Quran, but I would ask this question right here. The Quran says that Prophet Muhammad is the best example, right? If he never beat a woman, if he never beat a woman himself, then that would mean that he didn't exemplify what's in the Quran. If they're trying to use the Quran